Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and look at something literally every great story, every epic quest, and every hero's journey has in common: the companions. I mean, you can't really embark on a major adventure without the right party by your side, right? So today we're unpacking a really powerful text called The Architecture of Holy Fellowship, and it gives us the ultimate blueprint for building your ultimate adventure party for life. It's all about choosing the right friends, and why that choice might just be the absolute most important one you ever make.
I want you to stop for a quick second and ask yourself, who is actually in your circle? Think about the people you hang out with every single day, the people you sit next to, the ones you message online, the ones you laugh with. Are they helping you level up, or are they kind of holding you back? The source material we're exploring today has an urgently powerful message about the critical importance of selecting good friends. Because, whether you realize it or not, the people you surround yourself with are shaping exactly who you are going to become.
Which brings us perfectly to part 1, the friendship snare. So we're going to look at how some friendships, even the ones that seem totally fine on the surface, can actually act as hidden traps on our journey. This is a defensive lesson we all absolutely need to master first. The text anchors its argument on a foundational quote from Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11, "And have no fellowship of the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them." Now, unfruitful works of darkness, that might sound a bit intense or, old-fashioned, but in clear everyday terms, it simply means bad influences. It means staying away from activities, behaviors, and people that pull you into doing the wrong thing. It's an instruction to literally step back from situations that don't produce anything good or positive in your life.
But what's really fascinating here is how the text warns about this snare. You see, the enemy of God doesn't always come at you with obvious, scary monsters. Nope. Instead, the enemy uses people. Specifically, people with strong wills and positive temperaments. When those strong-willed people are influenced by bad intentions, they become highly efficient agents. They become a hidden snare, gently and quietly leading you away from the path of righteousness and onto paths that are false and extremely dangerous. So, the big question: how do you spot this trap? Well, the text gives us clear warning signs of a friend whose moral atmosphere is tainted with evil. First up, their moral tastes are entirely upside down. They enjoy things that are wrong and actually mock things that are right. Second, and this is absolutely crucial, you realize that you cannot lift them up to a pure atmosphere. Instead of you pulling them up to your good standards, they're entirely resistant to it. And third, because of that, their presence exerts a defiling or corrupting influence on you. If you see these signs, the text is crystal clear. You must shun their society. It's quite literally a matter of protecting your own soul.
All right, let's switch gears to part 2, setting a hero's standard.
How do we actively choose the right travel companions? We've talked about what to avoid, but moving from defense to offense means actively looking at the difference between good and dangerous associates. Now, the text tells us that while no one is perfect or free from mistakes, your standard for friends must be placed as high as humanly possible. Good associates hold religion and its practical influences in high respect. They keep the big picture, the future life, firmly in view. Dangerous associates, on the flip side, are described as vain, careless, and irreligious. The golden rule the text drops here is so profound. You should avoid contracting an intimate friendship with anyone whose example you wouldn't choose to imitate. Basically, if you don't want to be like them, don't walk closely with them.
Based on that, it's like we're being handed a clear 3-step manual for building your ultimate squad. Step 1. Place your standard as high as possible. Please, don't settle for friends who drag you down just because they happen to be around. Step 2. Avoid intimate friendships with bad examples. You can be kind to everyone for sure, but your inner circle, that needs to be protected. And step 3. Keep the future life constantly in view. Choose friends who help keep your mind focused on serious, meaningful impressions, not people who constantly distract you from your ultimate goals.
And that flows right into part 3, the trap of charming friends.
This introduces a seriously tricky concept for any hero in training. Dangerous influences aren't always mean, angry, or obviously bad. Actually, sometimes they're the smartest, most engaging, and coolest kids in the room. The text points out this brilliant illusion. A person might have incredible intellectual greatness, like they're the top of the class, brilliant, super successful. But the hidden danger is if they treat religion and morality with levity, mocking it, or just being indifferent to it. Or maybe they have incredibly engaging manners. They're charismatic, funny, everyone loves being around them. But behind that charm is a godless, irreverent influence. The text basically says that the more engaging their manners are, the more you should actually dread their influence. Because they wrap up dangerous morals in a really attractive package.
The real danger of vain, careless, and irreligious people isn't that they're going to force you to do evil things at gunpoint. The danger, as the text explicitly states, is that hanging out with these seemingly fun but careless people will effectually banish your serious thoughts. You'll just be laughing, having a great time, completely ignoring the important things, until suddenly you realize you've entirely lost your own moral compass. They don't break your standards, they just kind of make you forget you ever had them.
So here we are at the climax. Part 4, Dare to be a Daniel.
This is the ultimate test of courage. What do you actually do when you find yourself surrounded by these influences? Well, the text hits us with this incredibly challenging truth. A cowardly and silent reserve before evil associates, while you listen to their devices, makes you one with them. I really want you to think about that. You don't actually have to join in on the bad behavior to be caught in the snare. If your friends are doing the wrong thing, making the wrong jokes, or bullying someone, and you just stand there in a silent reserve, too scared to speak up, the text says you are making yourself one with them. Silence is literally a trap itself.
So to combat this, the author issues this ringing, triumphant challenge: dare to be a Daniel, dare to stand alone. Daniel, from the ancient stories, was a young captive who refused to compromise his standards, even when it meant risking his own life, even when he was literally the only one in the entire empire doing it. The challenge right here, right now, for you is to have that exact same bravery. Don't just go with the flow of the crowd.
The summary of this entire lesson is right here. Have the courage to do right. True bravery isn't about fighting monsters with swords. It's about looking at a group of people, maybe even people you desperately want to be friends with, and deciding that your standards are way more important than their approval. It means standing up for what is right, even if it means you have to stand completely by yourself.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a final thought and a question. You've got the blueprint now. You know the hidden dangers of the wrong circle, the importance of incredibly high standards, and that deceptive trap of charming but careless associates. But you know, knowing all this simply leads to a choice. When the moment comes and the crowd is walking down the wrong path, will you dare to stand alone? Take that question with you today, and make sure you build your party wisely.